Electric Fire Chapter 14, A New Chance.
Leaving Shadow back at the house by himself with Ozzy was a bit hard, though I knew he stayed for a good reason. With Tom and Maddie out working at their job sites, Gunn could easily invade the house. I missed the company already as I ran to Carl's home. I saw a few of Gunn's drones out. They were very different from Robotnik's by a lot. Armed with lasers instead of bullets, gun symbols over their metallic blue cap that covered a yellow light. Wing-like exterior on two sides, laser weapons on the bottom part of the drone. The wings held a system in the drones to help them hover. Keeping clear of them wasn't easy. They were able to detect anything that moved at high speed. They locked onto me pretty quickly, even though I wasn't anywhere near them. I decided to try and lose them in the forest near Carl's home. I've seen too many action movies, so losing them by having them either knock into trees or each other was easy. I think some lost connection with Gunn, though, due to the lack of Wi-Fi or cellular towers, since some fell without anything hitting them. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm the one telling this part of the story. I just took over Shadow's book. Okay, I'm only telling the parts he isn't able to since he isn't here with me. Well, technically this is our story. I don't care what the description says. This is, in fact, our story. Please keep that in mind. Our story is not just Shadow's, it's mine and his. Alright, I think I got that point across. Let's just get this all mine book back on the rails here before I get too carried away. Alright, so we were at the part where some drones got out of whack after getting too deep into the forest, due to the lack of connection or something. Maybe they got too far from Gunn, I don't know. Alright, so it didn't take me long to ditch the drones. Some blew up, others just randomly fell on the ground. Then I also kinda made a big mistake. My power got a little out of control, fear mixed with anger, and before I knew it, my quills were sparking and electricity grew. The drones were closing in, but my electrical current was too much for them. The ones that got too close to me, well, their circuits got fried. They malfunctioned a bit before falling to the ground. Once I knew the drones were gone, well, I dashed to Carl's without any issues. I mainly went there to apologize to Tails for the day before last. I mean, I did run off after he talked about Longclaw. Now I know the truth, that she is in fact gone forever. I still miss her, and it's all my fault she's not around. My fault I haven't even listened to her about trying to stay hidden. If I had known what would have happened, maybe things would have been different. But now I'm stuck with knowing that my old caretaker is gone because I hadn't listened. Tails came looking for me after he heard about me from some echidnas, so maybe this won't end up too badly. I also wanted to give the kid a chance. I wanted to try and become his friend. He could probably use a friend at a time like this. Carl welcomed me inside. Rouge and Tails were sitting on the couch drinking some hot chocolate when I got there. Tails' ears went back a bit when he saw me. He seemed nervous. Carl just greeted me and then welcomed me into his home. The house was a little messy. He had a hobby, which was to find information on mythical creatures in Green Hills, and see if he could gain any evidence of such creatures, after finding out locations of sightings from other people. I'm the only one that he seemed to be a real creature. Sure, he said traps, but I'm too speedy and quick-minded for any of them to work. Though I did get 2 holes in my old shoes from dodging bear traps he set out, testing my luck against them. After Carl welcomed me inside his home, I walked over to Tails. Carl went into the kitchen. He was probably in the middle of eating lunch when I got there. Tails looked up at me warily. Rouge just watched us, but then I guess she thought I needed alone time to talk with Tails, since she got up and went outside. She brought her cup with her. Omega must have been in the shed or the garage. After Rouge left, I took a seat beside Tails. Look, I wanted to apologize for what happened. I mean, finding out that I lost my caretaker was hard to take in. She took me in after my parents abandoned me, before Longclaw found me. I was barely alive, in a basket when she found me. I don't remember anything else though, but I was her child until I was able to run. Tail's ears perked up a bit as I spoke.
I accept your apology. I'm sorry too. My parents abandoned me as well due to my extra tail, but that's in the past. After I heard about you, I knew I should try and find you after I could escape from the echidnas. I kinda stole a ring from them. Actually, I stole a sack full of them. The leader recently got it from some birds called flickies that somehow got the bag of rings from somewhere. It didn't matter, as long as they got a hold of them. It's possibly the last bag of rings, but at least I got them before they could use them to find you or any other powerful beings like the other hedgehog you were with. I don't exactly have any power, aside from my ability to fly with my tails, but that's just putting my mutation to good use.
Tails mostly rambled on and on after that. I tried to listen, but I barely understood most of the stuff he talked about. He said he enjoyed building stuff. Carl had lent him my hands in the old shed. He was also able to give Omega a few upgrades. Seems Coral's was the perfect home for him. Rouge also helped a little to get Omega to trust the young fox. Coral also collected scrap metal and stuff no one wanted. He built the bear traps and the other traps himself. He was crafty and had a lot of time on his hands. There were rumors from town back in Carl's younger days. He was actually a builder of some sort. Mostly enjoyed making wood carvings or metallic signs. He even went to make wood sculptures. But now he mostly builds things as a hobby and sometimes sells what he creates. But mostly he keeps the stuff he makes. He doesn't work much on traps anymore. He makes them though if he hears that someone has a rota problem from when he goes out to have a drink or a meal in town. Soon it was time to head back to Tom and Maddie's, or home in my case. I hate to admit it, but I've gotten pretty attached to Tom and Maddie. I feared that would happen, since one day I might actually have to leave them. With great power comes power-hungry bad guys. First the echidnas, then that mad scientist guy, now gone. I know Shadow said he'd come up with a plan, but I don't see how we can shake them off at this moment. If only I didn't use too many of my rings in that pursuit with Robotnik. If I just zapped him into the mushroom planet instead of running through whirls, maybe I would have enough rings. Heading back to Tom and Maddie's was actually easier this time. I just cut through the forest, not having to worry about the drones coming after me, but then when I got there, drones were circling around the house. Gone. I wondered why Shadow hadn't run to Carl's to warn me, or at least he could have teleported. Fearing the worst, I ran inside.